What's going on, guys? Larry here, getting in some back work at Los Campeones. I am doing bands with a few of my back movements today, and I want to illustrate to you guys the good ways you can actually use this for an excellent addition to your back training. Now, you're noticing that I have a red band attached with a mag grip to a lat pull down machine. All right, this is for accommodating resistance. With the band, when you pull it, the contraction increases, right? It means it gets harder to pull. So what I really wanted to do is I really wanted to hit my mid back and my upper back and rhomboid area. So I wanted that contraction to be strong at the end of the movement, which is the bottom in this video. I wasn't really caring about pulling the mag grip down to my chest. I just needed it to be able to have a strong contraction, right? So notice that the weight isn't super heavy, but that band tension makes up for a lot of the weight, especially at the bottom, because it gets really difficult in that position. So try to, if you're in the gym and you have bands, I would recommend you jerry rig it to where you can set that band up to where you just get a really, really strong contraction. Make sure that bar doesn't pop you in the face. And you can go fairly heavy on it. I think I went about 8 reps on a lot of these sets. And I did a lot of sets of this to wake my back up for the next movement. But in any event, you can really, really nail the upper back and the rhomboid area. Now, moving on, as you can see, I'm setting up the band for one-arm barbell rows. Now, this was a killer, to be quite honest with you. I had to strap up for my warm-up sets because the bar just kept sliding out of my hand thanks to that resistance. Again, you will have a harder contraction at the top with this movement. It is not a comfortable movement. It is not a great movement. It's a really good movement with just a band. And I was able to go up to 100 pounds, but that was a struggle, to be quite honest with you. So why bands on this one? Well, the weight does drop off at the bottom, and it just provides you with a great stretch. But you already have a great stretch, but what about the contraction at the top? Whenever we're using bands, we're just really worried about the contraction at the top. We're really worried about squeezing every last little bit of muscular force and muscular power that we can up out of that muscle. So that's where the bands come in. Now, I know a lot of you have probably seen this in some Westside Barbell videos or even some old school John Meadows videos, the usage of bands, I mean. This is still a viable training tool in 2025, and people went after it vehemently back when it was first released or first made aware on a grand scale when John Meadows started using it, because he trained at Westside for a little bit. Well, I think this is an absolutely great tool to be using now. I see that it's gotten out of sync. I see the closest thing we use to bands is reverse bands on the hack squat. So guys, I want to encourage you all to play with the different modalities that we have, these different tools that we have. Because I guarantee you, the bands will have a great and you will unleash the power and the fact that every little bit of muscle power. Now here, setting up a band on the Atlantis multi-grip chest supported row. I originally had used chains, but it just didn't work out on this machine as well as I had hoped. And as you can see, the bar is getting pulled over a little bit, so I had to readjust the band. But once I got that band readjusted to more of the center of the machine, that's when the magic really happened. And again, really just want to nail those lats, and you really want to nail those rhomboids. So I'm picking the narrowest grip for a couple of sets, and I'm just really focused on driving my elbows back. I'm really focused on just making sure I get a good contraction in there, and I'm making sure that I squeeze every bit of power up out of my back. Back is something that responds very well to low reps. So if you do a lot of volume with low reps, you're going to gain. If you do a lot of volume with higher reps, you're going to gain, as long as your eating is in check. Now, with that being said, this doesn't mean that you use bands every workout, okay? It's a very stressful tool. This was my 1 week of using them. I took this week off, and then next week I will pick a couple of different exercises to go ahead and to work out my back even more. But I want you guys to understand that training with bands, again, is a very stressful technique. It's not something that should be used every week. I believe at Westside Barbell they use waves to manage their band work. And while I'm not using waves, I'm using more of a one-on, one-off as far as weeks go. That's probably something pretty smart that you all can do if you want to run bands a little bit longer. All right, setting up here for the seal row. At this point, my lower back was fried, so I just wanted to go ahead and keep that pressure off my lower back. And the seal row is a great way to do that. Not necessarily a lat builder, no matter how far you kick the elbows back. So I was just making sure I was pretending that I had a penny in between my shoulder blades. I'm keeping my elbows out for the most part, and I'm just rowing. And I'm making sure I'm trying to squeeze that penny to break it in half. Rudimentary way to think of training back, but it's actually a very effective way, effective cueing method. If I was with somebody, I would probably put my fingers in between their shoulder blades and their rhomboids to just make sure that they're squeezing my hand to make sure that they get that good contraction at the top. This is not a power exercise. At no point this is a power exercise. So use weights that are manageable. Again, you can go low rep with this workout, or you can go low rep with this exercise, but it's not something that I generally recommend. And plus, I was a little bit tired. But again, you want to hit it up in the double-digit range. And if you are a bench presser, this is something that you definitely need to have in your arsenal as far as helping you build lat stability and all that for the bench press, because it's basically the same movement. You're going to press the bar in the same plane, but you are building the back instead of the chest. So just something to think about. And as always, clean your goddamn equipment, please. And seeing as that I'm training legs twice a week, but I lost a training day, I just added a little bit of giant sets into the back workout. Now, why giant sets? Well, besides the fact that I was pretty cooked after the back day, giant sets provide me and others a tremendous opportunity to not only tax the aerobic system, but also to tax the muscular system in a way that doesn't have to utilize heavy weights. So trying to nail 20 reps on the leg extension, then trying to nail another 15 to 20 on the leg press is something that will help you build up size and not stress a lot. Again, this would have been my second leg workout of the week, so it was going to be pump day. The focus was going to be a pump, just get a nasty pump in the legs, but you know, now that I had to have it added to back, it just helped me even more. And I was already pretty warm for back. So if you do a workout like this, know that you'll already be pretty warm from all of the excessive pulling that you're doing. So you just need a couple of rounds, and then you can just get to going on that. But that was the back day. That's how you can use bands to get better. Again, I recommend going to EliteFTS.com to get you a Mountain Dog band pack. But in any event, that's how it went down. So thanks for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll be bringing you much more as the weeks go by.